By now, we all know the story surrounding Demetrious Johnson's shot at UFC history in his rescheduled flyweight title fight against Ray Borg at this weekend's UFC 216, and the beef between Mighty Mouse and Dana White that began over the champion's refusal to fight former bantamweight champ TJ Dillashaw. But despite both the historical significance of Johnson's upcoming title defense and the theatrics leading up to the bout, most fight fans just aren't that interested. Usually, adding the kind of drama that we saw between Johnson and White to a title fight is more than enough to attract octagon addicts from every corner of the UFC's fanscape, forcing the MMA media to feed that interest with a seemingly endless stream of related articles. For some reason, that hasn't happened with Johnson's upcoming attempt at setting a UFC record. Now in his 7th year with the promotion, Johnson still struggles to gain the type of following that his octagon resume warrants. While countless other sub-welterweight fighters such as Conor McGregor, Dominick Cruz, Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar have all enjoyed a fan base that seems to follow them to the ends of the earth, Johnson's accomplishments are often overshadowed by the sport's most mundane occurrences. But Johnson's accomplishments are far from mundane. As MMA Junkie recently pointed out, heading into Saturday's title fight, the reigning flyweight champion holds several divisional records including the top mark for appearances 14, victories 12, submission victories 4, fight night bonuses 7, longest active winning streak 12 and stopped page victories 6. And on top of being one of only 6 fighters in UFC history to compile a 10-fight winning streak, Johnson's 12-fight winning streak is tied with George St. Pierre for the 3rd longest in UFC history. But none of those numbers have helped to attract the MMA masses to Johnson's upcoming attempt at history. One could argue that Johnson's squeaky-clean image simply doesn't resonate with diehard fight fans. But a relatively spotless reputation both in and out of the octagon certainly hasn't hurt Cruz and Edgar. Yet, Johnson is the UFC's least promoted champion, and it's hard to imagine any of the UFC's other champions receiving the type of muted fanfare that Johnson has received if they had a chance to make promotional history. While recently reinstated light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier has also struggled to build the following he truly deserves, the UFC would break out all the bells and whistles if he was the one who had a chance to break Anderson Silva's record of 10 straight title defenses. But in this case, what may be the most important fight of Johnson's career is co-headlining an event with a meaningless interim lightweight title fight between a legitimate threat to the 155-pound throne and an unqualified contender. Of course, Johnson missed a golden opportunity to significantly grow his fan base and gain the attention his talents deserve when he refused to face Dillashaw. Regardless of his true reasons for turning down a date with the former bantamweight king, a lot of fans are convinced that Johnson only fought so hard to face Borg because he wanted to fight a less experienced opponent on a potentially historic night. And unfortunately for Johnson, there's absolutely nothing that he can do to change the minds of those who share that opinion. If Johnson is successful in his quest to break Silva's record, finding opponents won't get any easier as the champion of a weight class that's running low on legitimate contenders. But even if he makes history by defeating Borg in impressive fashion, it may be too late for Johnson to salvage both his octagon image and his legacy.